This video is not planned in any real sort of way. I don't have a script for it or anything. I just feel like I need to express this and share it. I feel like it could be very useful to a lot of people. Since school has started up again, I have not had the best mind so to say. And initially I was going to blame that on school because I always have all this short form content, all the imagery and violent and sexual imagery from memes, whatever. It would make sense for me to blame it because I hadn't been thinking like this since school started. And now I've not been following Philippians 4:8 very well. And I want to emphasize the fact that my mind has made my days. It makes them good or bad. If I think happy thoughts, if I think good things, if I think about all the work that I can and have achieved, I am not usually too disappointed. If I can think about perseverance and everything that is good, I don't tend to have a problem. But as soon as I start thinking impurely, illogically, that's when my day usually gets ruined by my own behavior. And then I'll do things that seem irrational afterwards. I have never had a bad day where the bad day itself was out of my control. I've always been able to rely on the fact that if I do the right things on any given day, then that day will be a good day. Again, I don't have a script for this or anything. I want to put a lot of emphasis on the fact that you make your own reality and that whatever you think tends to be how the world will seem. People that are always thinking of bad things about how terrible everyone else is, that's all they tend to see because it's confirmation bias. They think of people as terrible people, and so they see it more. Seek and ye shall find goes not just towards embracing and accepting Christ's love, but in general attitude towards the world that we have. There's no exterior force that can make you see things one way or the other. There are a lot of ways that you can be persuaded to think one way or the other. But if you always choose to think optimistically, you tend to have a better outlook on life. If you tend to see the best in people, you'll more often than not see more good than bad. I've noticed this pretty much my whole life, but I haven't really actually paid attention to this specific fact outside of the past few weeks. When I see my friends being generally apathetic towards, things like morality and other things, I'm at a loss for words for some reason. But like when I see friends and other people doing the wrong things, if I expect them to do the wrong things, I will more often than not see the wrong things than I will the good stuff. But such as in the case of people... What are you doing? Oh, okay. Cat. Such as in the case of Melatonin and Midnight Games. When I'm focusing on how much effort they're putting towards their channel, I tend to see the positives in that. When I would think about Melatonin, I wouldn't usually think of him as this hard-working guy because I had this outlook on life that just kind of impacts the way that I thought about everyone. That everyone's like all lazy and weak and everything. But when I started to pay attention to the progress that he was making on his channel and still is, I started to notice that people usually aren't as bad as the nihilists and the pessimists would have you believe. It's not all that black and white. It's usually every man is my superior in some way, and that I learned of him is true. Every person on this earth has something that they do better than I do. Whether or not that skill or talent is of particular interest to me is a different story, but everyone has something above me that I don't particularly, that I'm not good at, or as good at as them. Everything. That goes for everything. And every person on this earth has their own talents, abilities, skills that they can use towards whatever they want. I will merely leave off with judge not, that ye be not judged. I think that having a more positive outlook on life is I would say it's essential to living the best life. Just having a negative outlook on life is just not so good. Try to see the best in people. Try to see the best in situations. Just being happier is what I'm getting at.